Hello, everybody. Grady, Polcyn here, Family First Life America. So excited for our training today. Honored and excited to sit with two of our, I feel like, I don't want to use the word killer, but like two young crushers, two of our young go-getters. All right, we can mature this up. Two of our young go-getters, Orlando Martinez and Denis Mejia. Both 21 years of age and blazing a trail for young people everywhere on how to have a business mindset, work hard, and focus on your future at a young age. And excited to spend some time with them. Got to spend some time with them over the past days, weeks, and months, and seeing their business continue to flourish and blossom. But it's all a testament to their focus and work ethic. And I think I'd love to pass it over to you guys for a second here, but I'd be remiss if I didn't give you proper introductions. That Orlando been with us for 6 months?
7 months.
7 months. Active vice president means his agency protects over 150 families a month, and means he'll probably protect over 1,000 families, if not 2,000 families as an agency this entire year, which is tremendous, if not more, which is a big number. Right. And then Denis, as a producer right now, working on building his agency as well, but from a production standpoint, is tearing up the leaderboards, protecting over 30 families a month. And you sell some insurance too, right?
Of course.
So he protects 20, 30 plus families a month as well. So I'm excited to spend some time with them. Excited for you to hear from them and you to kind of focus and pick up their mindset principles and the things that they're implementing in their business. But without further ado, I'd love to pass it over to you guys and kind of give some backstory, tell them about what, how you ended up here, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so me and Denis both came from the practice company. We actually used to live together, funny story, and he ended up leaving before me, came out to Arizona, and then eventually it was my turn to come around. And just kind of the way that everything unfolded, we ended up working together as a team. And, first of all, I'm incredibly blessed to have Denis in my life. I consider him my best friend, brother from another mother. If it wasn't because of him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
That's
Domino
awesome.
effect would not be at vice president level. He's been a huge help from the selling standpoint and leading from the front by protecting families, and at the same time from the training standpoint and leading from the front by teaching agents one-on-one on how to do this properly.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
So Denis Mejia, I come from captive sales agency. Before then, I used to sell cars. So that's where the sales started for me. I was in college, decided college wasn't for me, and decided to start getting into car sales. And then right around the time I decided to start selling cars, COVID happened, right?
Got it.
So I don't know if you guys know, but no one was buying anything during COVID.
Not even bikes.
So
they were buying life insurance. They were buying life insurance.
That's true.
People, and that's what's crazy is that's what made me think of it. Is I was like, man, what can I do? So started looking around. I did find my practice company at which I was recruited into, and I was there for about 7 months. It was very tough. Really, it was a big struggle. And I think the biggest thing, and one of the biggest things that made me make the switch, was probably the fact of how I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was presenting to clients and I was reading our script, I wasn't feeling good about what I was doing.
Got it.
And when I came here, ever since I've stepped foot and started protecting families, I've always felt good about what I was doing. And ever since then, and I met up with Orlando. At first, this was when I first came here, I was in a bad position, so I didn't have the opportunity just to start selling. I had to figure it out. Like Sean Mike says, as a man, you got to make it work. So I had to pick up another job. Was working in Scottsdale, serving tables just to help pay for those leads.
Dude, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, I had to figure it out. So the serving money definitely paid for the leads. And then once Orlando came in, decided finally to make the switch. It took him a while, but he finally decided to come. And then ever since me and him partnered together, we've been just going, ham and doing as best as we can to, grow a business. And honestly, at first when I came here, I was just trying to make sure I could take care of my family. That was it, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm really trying to grow this thing and really take it to the full potential and get to integrity.
And it's crazy how over time it's kind of grown into a position of, getting Denis to protect over 30 families in a month, and getting Jasmine King, one of our prodigies who's coming in crushing it, protecting over 20 families her first month with us. I mean, it's crazy, and that's the impact.
I agree. Very powerful talking about, being on your last dollar. So it's a testament to you and to who you are, and then how you're leading your team is through that truth. All right, let's jump into some fun stuff now. I want to jump into some training. They're not putting up these numbers. They're not protecting this level of families if they don't have some level of production and presentation skill set. So if Dennis would like you to kick it off, maybe you can talk through, what leads, how you set up, to a degree, and then this is my dial process, and my dialing, my one call close, and just run through it.
I think first things first is having the right mindset on the leads, okay? Number one is they did request this information, and maybe if they didn't request it, they were looking into it, okay? So number one, they were sort of interested, or they were curious about what we do, and that's servicing and helping people set up, life insurance. So number one is, have the right mindset, because I think people get a little bit, thrown off by, I didn't request this, or I don't remember this or that. To be honest with you, when I'm, talking to clients and I'm trying to figure out, if this is a prospect or not, my main two priorities is, do you have life insurance? And if you do, can I put you in a better position? And if you don't, grab a pen and paper and let me help you out. So that's the number one thing is, having the right mindset before you go into even dialing, okay? Leads wise, you gotta make sure that you're not just using one, lead type or one vendor. And, I do personally live transfers, and that's not just with one company, that's with all of them.
Okay.
And then I also supplement with some CRM leads. You can't go wrong with $2 to $4 leads, okay? It's
yeah, I know.
Free money.
You really just can't go wrong with leads like that. And if you're working the older leads, it's simply just filtering, right? It's all filtering. So you're trying to figure out, can this person be helped? And if they did be, if they were helped, that's completely fine. Can we put them in a better position than they were before we talked to them? So that's the number one thing. And going into, I think, dialing. Dialing is something where we say this all the time. It's $1,000 or $1,000. You know what I'm saying? So we're either going to make $1,000 or we're going to make $1,000 today. So I think really making sure that you make the dials is the most important thing, because if you're not making the dials, then you're not putting yourself in a position to even be able to sit with clients. My main objective is not to get a certain amount of sales every day. My main objective every day is to sit with at least 6 to 8 clients and at least try to close 2 to 3. Okay. And based off those numbers, you should be able to close, even if you're really bad in 25% close ratio. That's still probably 2 families being protected, and obviously we know what we're paid on that. So when it comes to really getting into the script, I use the Josh Williams telescript. Okay. It's really simple and pretty straightforward. The biggest thing is...
Can you rip it for us? Yeah, I'd love to hear
absolutely.
it.
We can role play right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So hi, Orlando.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, this is Dennis. I'm calling you here at the Benefits Center here in the state of Arizona.
I'm not interested.
Not interested in what?
Ooh, sharp. Whatever you're calling about.
Oh, okay. You're not interested in what?
Whatever you're calling about, I don't know what you're calling me about.
Oh, so you don't even know what I'm calling about? I apologize. I think I confused you, Orlando. So my name's Dennis. I'm calling you here at the Benefits Center here in the state of Phoenix. The reason why I was giving you a call here this evening, it looks like you requested some information on the life insurance programs in the state. And you put your date of birth as 01/01 of 1999. Is that correct for you, Orlando?
Yeah, that's correct.
Perfect. So I was giving you a call just to let you know that we did go ahead and process this request for you. We're taking care of everything virtually due to COVID. It takes about 5 minutes to get you this information. Do me a favor, grab a pen and paper, and we'll get this out of the way for you.
Okay, got it.
All right, perfect. And I want you to write down my information. My first name is Dennis, D-E-N-I-S. Last name Mejia, M-E-J-I-A. Now next, the state of Arizona actually required for me to give you my license number, so I do want to make sure that you do have that written down. Mm-hmm. It's 197-07047. You got that?
197-070, yeah, I got it.
Perfect. So with that number as well, if you go to the Department of Insurance website, you type that number in, you should be able to find all my information. Nice little ugly picture of me as well.
Okay.
Perfect. So lastly, I'll give you my phone number, and it's 531-222-5833. With that, if you need to contact me directly, that is my personal line. You got all that?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right, you can set that down just for a second, and we'll go ahead and get started. You want me to keep going?
I mean, that was fantastic.
So just to break down a few things, obviously, I'm not ever focused about how that was requested or why or not.
What he's saying. Doesn't matter what he's saying.
It doesn't matter. Also, ask good questions. Like when people say they're not interested, it's before a reason. So is it because you couldn't qualify or because you couldn't afford it, Grady?
Mm-hmm. Or because you're getting your phone blown up?
Okay.
I was buying car insurance the other day because I just got a new car, and I literally had 20 people call me, and every time they called me, I thought it could be a client, so I answered, right? And it's not a live transfer either, so I'm just like, okay, hello, who's this? Hi, this is so-and-so with auto insurance, bro. And I'm like, I'm not interested, text me. Not interested, text me. Not interested. Like 20 times I said, not interested, text me, and I hung up. And the one person that texted me was the person I bought from. Might have not given me the best deal, but it made it easy and convenient for me.
It's good.
So,
Absolutely.
So where were you going with that? So whatever, doesn't matter what they're saying, doesn't matter what questions they have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what they're asking, what they say. For me, I'm just trying to find a problem even at the beginning. So if they're saying they're not interested, it was because maybe they got declined, so someone wasn't able to help them, which probably a captive agent, or they just couldn't afford it. So I follow with the solution, right? So I give them a yes or yes question that's going to put me in a position where I can say, hey, I'm a broker, so I'm going to be able to help you out since you were declined. I work with about 40 to 50 different companies, so we should be able to find something that fits your needs. So go ahead and grab that pen and paper for me so we can get this out of the way for you.
That's awesome. Drop a DM in the comments below because that was smooth as butter, bro. That was good. I like Josh Williams telescript. I like that.
Yeah.
He's Josh has got a knack for it.
Yeah, I didn't make that, by the way.
thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh, for everything, dude. He's coming here. He's tearing it up and helping us all get better. That's what That's what teams do.
Absolutely.
That's what teams do. Support each other. Okay, so you get into it. Now now is that generally an instant lead? Does it matter?
Oh, it doesn't. So if it's a live transfer, obviously I'm going to handle a little bit different, but that's more of an outbound call.
Okay.
If we want to, we can talk about live transfers.
Sure.
But for the most part, if it's going to be an outbound call, it's all the same thing, just the same script there.
Okay.
If it's a live transfer, it's more of a little bit of a warm kind of. Obviously, it's an inbound call. So the way I start those is straight to the question. It's, hey, my name's Dennis. I'll be the one taking care of you. I'm a broker here with the state. And you're trying to get your life insurance set up, is that right? So it's straight, like I'm asking them straight up.
Yes.
And even if they say quotes or this or that, it doesn't really matter to me because I know if I take them through the process, it's not going to be quotes. It's going to be them getting themselves, application and getting themselves some insurance. So. Okay.
And let's go this way. What top 2 objections you may get when you're not live transfers? Let's just do regular outbound dials. So not interested, already got that taken care of, and. Like, how do you cover price objections when you're doing virtual? Like, I want to shop around. Like, say I want to shop around.
Yeah, so that's perfectly fine, Grady. That's what you're supposed to do is shop around and find the best thing. Now, luckily for you, and I'm actually a broker, so I work with 40 to 50 different companies. So you don't have to do anything. I'm going to do all the shopping around for you. Now, if we get off the phone and, you want to go do some shopping around, you can definitely do that. But I will say, Grady, that I work with 40 to 50 different companies in the state, but obviously it's not all of them. Grady, there is a reason why I work specifically with these companies, and it's simply because they're very reputable and they've been around for a very long time and they're A+ rated carriers. I think the most important thing for you, Grady, is making sure that if something does happen to you, that it's going to pay out, right? And also in a timely manner. Right, so these companies, they're going to ensure that is going to happen. So you're not just setting yourself up for some life insurance and making it on your way. So another thing I like to do is tell people that they are stuck with me and we're stuck with each other. Like I'm not here just to set up your life insurance and get you on your way. I'm here to make sure that you're taken care of, and then as well as if you have any family or friends that need any help, I'm going to help them out. And then what I'm saying when it comes to if that day were to come or when that day does happen. It's going to be my job to work with your beneficiary to ensure that they receive the money and we get the money from the company. So I make it really on their side.
Got it. Do you use phone burner?
Yes, phone burner. Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Give me some, this is a virtual sales clinic this is evolving into. I'd love to, what are you doing, Orlando, that kind of helping you?
So really what kind of helps me is understanding, I'm a huge person on tonality and the straight line system of just selling, which is just follow a straight line from point A to point C being you just got done signing an application, you're sending it to the carrier, you're saying goodbye, write down my information, this is the coverage amount, you guys get the point. So for me, tonality is the biggest thing in virtual telesales, Grady, and the reason for that is because 20% of communication is going to be what you're actually saying. The other 80% is going to be your body language and your tone of voice, right? And that's what people are going to identify as how it's making them feel. And people never remember what you say. People really don't remember what you do. They remember how you make them feel. So through your tonality, you got to find the way in which you're going to be able to relate with the client from the beginning they pick up the phone to the point that you're getting off the phone with them and you've protected them and their family. And a lot of times what I end up seeing that really is like a roadblock completely for new agents is they treat complaints as objections. You know, like when I'm filling out an application and I'm talking to, Joe Schmo from West Virginia, and he's 68 years old, and I say, are you a U.S. citizen? Just role play it out with me. Okay, and as I mentioned, they're going to check your medical records to your social. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Great. What's your social?
I don't like giving that out.
Me neither. I feel the same way whenever you're ready.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And I swear I've done that so many times, Grady, and it works because in reality, a lot of times they're just complaining. It's not a real objection. And if you go about it that way, just thinking, hey, the client is not going to object me. He's probably just going to complain about my process, which is normal. It's uncomfortable. If they really have an objection, they're going to bring it up to you afterwards. When you're asking for the account and routing information for their bank, right, for their financial institution. Same thing. What do you need that info for? Your application. The worst case scenario is that it really is an objection and they're not complaining, and then at that point they're going to bring it up to you, and then you can handle it then.
How do you handle that?
You said what?
How do you handle that?
When they give me an objection for the banking?
Correct.
Very simple. Yep, Grady, I feel exactly the same way. You're just like my mom. I wouldn't want her giving out the bank info either. But the reason why they have it set up through your routing and account number and instead of a debit card is because I know you've lost your debit card just like me and you've had to cancel it. And I know, and the life insurance company knows that you're very serious about protecting your wife, Mary. So the last thing they would want is that you lose your debit card and have to cancel your coverage altogether. And then something happens to you and this doesn't pay out. So what's a good routing number for you? And whatever you say.
And honestly, just to elaborate a little bit on that, we don't even, I think it's all, when it comes to for me, how do I explain this? So when we get to the e-app, I think that's actually the sale for me. Okay. I think when you pitch options, they pick one. I'm not, like, it's not done yet. Like, the sale comes in the e-app. That's when you really know how serious someone is about the life insurance is in the e-app. So a good thing to elaborate on that is when, you're collecting this information, it's all about, how you present it, right? So, sometimes I just like to pre-beat the rebuttal sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So, Grady, we're at the final step here. They want to make sure that, we put a valid payment on this. Now, just to remind you, you're not going to be paying anything right this second. Right now, we're just trying to get you approved for the coverage, right? Now, the insurance companies, they want to verify two things. Number one is going to be that you do have a valid social security number, because that's how they verify your medical records. If we don't have a social, then you can't get approved for it. The second thing is having a valid bank account, a valid U.S. bank account, making sure that if you were to be approved, you can actually pay for this. Because this would be all a waste of time if you had a debit card and no bank account. So I do have the routing number here. It actually auto-populates for me, Grady. So all I do is put in your city and then the bank name, and then it automatically comes up. So I do need you to verify it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You have it memorized?
Well, I'm looking at my check.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. And then what's the account number?
Got it.
So the reason I make them verify the routing number is because right next to it is going to be their account numbers. And I don't want to give them too much at a time. I just want to slowly take little bites.
That's good.
So it's really important how you present the information and how you ask for it. And I always keep it very casual. You know what I'm saying? When I ask for the account number and they complain, I'm like, yeah, no, I hate it too. Whenever you're ready. That one always works. When you just brush it off and ask for it again, they have to make a decision right then and there if they're going to give it to you or not.
The bottom line is their objections, guys, they don't really matter. They're not valid. It's just emotions and feelings. It's nothing that's logical. What's logical is actually setting the life insurance in place to protect your wife of 20 years. What's logical is setting the life insurance in place to protect your 5-year-old son. That's the reality. But this is something that is really going to be there whenever something happens to that family. And if you close a deal and you protect that family, what you need to understand is that your job with that family is not done. The moment you file a claim, now you have to be in contact with the beneficiaries. It's your job to help them through that process. You're going to be there as not just a financial support, but as emotional support. So do not let these little things that pop up in the presentation deter your character and deter the integrity and the intentions of protecting this family. My biggest thing when it comes to selling virtually is the mentality of like, it doesn't matter what they're saying as long as the family gets protected.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he may not like me because I have an accent on the phones and I talk a little bit different than most people. But at the end of the day, as long as that family gets protected, we don't even have to have the deepest best friend connection between me and the client. But as long as I made him understand the right proper way that, hey, this is for life. And when something happens to you, I'm the guy that's talking to your wife, that's talking to Betty, that's talking to Mary, that's talking to your son Caleb, and they understand that, that's when you have the policy go into place and stay in the books for you. And a lot of times when you're getting objections, it's just the reality, the objection can start here, but in reality, it came across here at the beginning of your presentation, and that's when you're seeing a lot of issues formulate. If you're having a lot of objections, that is not part of sales. That means that you're failing at the transfer of belief of what you're actually, telling your client.
You don't sound confident enough.
Exactly. You're not confident enough. Your tonality's not right. Maybe you're saying the right things just the wrong way. Maybe you're saying things the right way, but you're saying the wrong things. So a lot of times, if you're having a lot of issues when it comes to getting banking information, when it comes to getting social, it's just a matter of what are you saying before? What are the steps in your presentation that you're taking? For example, I think Grady, I'm sure you've heard this from a lot of agents. Socials is one of the hardest things to get in virtual. A lot of people don't like to give their social over the phone. What I do when I'm asking the medical questions in the beginning, and I'll role play with you, Grady.
Sure.
Okay, Grady, so I'm going to run you through some medical questions, see which companies you may have a chance of qualifying for the best rate possible. Any heart attack, cancer, stroke, or diabetes?
None.
No? Okay. Any mini strokes, any complications of diabetes? I know these questions are boring. Alzheimer's, AIDS, or HIV?
None.
No. Okay, look, Grady, I'm going to make this faster for the both of us. Just to save us some time, I'm going to let you know they're going to check your medical records through your social security number. That's tied to the Medical Information Bureau. So every time you go to the doctor and the nurse puts in your information, those medical records get transferred to that bureau. Is there anything that would potentially pop up from 5-10 years ago that you may not even remember of?
I can't think of anything right now.
Can't think of anything right now? Okay, perfect. And at this point, I'm already knowing which direction I'm going to go. It's going to uncover, if they actually have something that's going on, Grady, it's going to uncover whatever it is. It's going to make my underwriting a lot easier. If you're a new agent, you have to use Underwriting Genie. After you do 50 to 75 cases, I think you kind of know which direction to go. And then from that point, now they know that I'm going to ask for the social security number.
Warming them up.
Warming them up, kind of getting them prepared for that. And then he does way better at preparing them for the bank info. I just kind of solo it and just go for it. That's what I do.
He's just super confident, so you got to believe him. But I will say, whenever I do get to a point where I can't collect information and I'm stuck and they just won't give it to me, which is pretty rare, what I'll do is I'll say, okay, Grady, can you receive emails at this email? And can you access that right now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to send you over an email here in just a second. I'm going to need you to pull that up. And what I do is I just send them a Zoom link. I'm not telling them that I'm sending them a Zoom link, because the more effort people got to do, the more people don't want to do something.
Right.
So I simply tell them I'm sending them a Zoom link, or I don't tell them. And then once they get to the email, I'm like, here, this is what we're doing. Click on the link. We're going to hop in a Zoom, and you can see my screen. I'm going to show you a couple other things while we're at it too. And what I do is I get them in the Zoom, and they actually, I feel like they seem to kind of like this. And I haven't had one person after getting to the Zoom that doesn't give the information. And what I do on the Zoom is, first I go ahead and show them my license, and I go to the Department of Insurance in their state, and I show them, I'm like, look, there's my name, my information. And then I show them a picture of my ID. And then I also even pull up my Facebook and I say, look, this is my family. This is my little brother, Ashley. I got 7 siblings, so we look cool, we got a nice, beautiful family. So they really like that, I think.
If you're not taking notes, you're not going to grow, because this is excellent. That's really good. Just to touch on that, there's 3 ways people learn: touch, sight, and sound. And touch is like kinesthetic, which is like 4% of the way people learn. Sound is like 30% of people learn, and then like 65% is visual. Absolutely. So you guys who are telesales killers, like you're only utilizing 30% of the way most people learn and retain and take in knowledge. So when you pivot to Zoom, it was no doubt you weren't going to go. They just stress relieves off, because now they can hear you. They're engaging with their fingers, and they
We
see
can
something
feel.
that creates confidence. So
feel.
yeah, keep rolling. I just was like, that's
No, I
awesome.
appreciate that. So I think that really showing, the family really gets to them too, and showing that, I'm a person as well. I mean, I had a guy one time, he was just so rude, and then once I showed him my family, he like kind of loosened up a little bit. I was like, okay, that's what kind of guy he is. So hopping on a Zoom, that's never failed for me. I think a lot of people just give up at that point, you know what I'm saying? So, and don't tell them you're sending them a Zoom, because like I said, it's too much effort for them. The more you make them work, the more they're just going to probably hang up and, procrastinate what it is they need to do. So the Zoom thing, it's super, super good, just to go ahead and send it to them. And I haven't had any problems on Zoom.
Cool.
At that point, I just don't think they're serious about it. If they, you know what I mean? If they don't want,
Yeah, it's just
they're
wasting
hiding
time.
something, or they don't want to do it. So,
And you can lead the horse to the water, doesn't mean it's gonna drink it, and that's the reality. Try your best, as long as you know that your system and everything that you're doing it correctly. If you're not able to close that one deal, and you did everything that you possibly could, right? Just move on to the next and be happy that you even got the chance and the opportunity to speak to this person. Give them the information. And if they didn't make the decision because they're not being responsible adults on their side, that's fine. It happens. You can't control everybody's decision. You can only control what you're doing and trying to improve presentation after presentation, phone call after phone call.
I love it. Let's go to the close. So what do you do, either to close or to solidify the sale? Like any things you do, anything you do at the end, like it's done, submitted, right? Okay, we got it submitted. What is that next 30 seconds to 3 minutes entail to make sure that this doesn't go anywhere but through?
So one thing I like to do, right, something that I've been doing a lot lately and has been helping me issue pay more numbers every month, is instead of, because we can always say, yep, this will begin for you in 3 to 5 business days, so make sure that money's in the account, then the client might not even want to do it at that point, right? So what I do is this, it's Grady, so unfortunately, I know you really want this coverage, and if you were to be approved, I wish I could have this start for you right away, but I'm not able to do so. They actually do it in enrollment periods, okay? And today is what, let's say it's the 7th today, right? Today is the 7th of April. So the next enrollment period, from what I'm seeing for you, Grady, for your age group, it's actually gonna be the 15th of the month. Or if not, it's gonna be a couple days later, the 28th. If you were to be approved, would you want your policy to commence the 15th or the 28th? And then I ask them which enrollment period. And then at that point, I'm preparing them, okay, so if you do get approved, Grady, the 15th, your policy will commence. The $89.71 would be drafted out of your bank account. Don't do anything crazy up until that point, because if not, and something happens to you, your family's not gonna receive a payout until after the 15th of April. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No.
So it does make sense, right?
So can they can't start immediately?
Unfortunately, if you wanted to, we can try 3 to 5 business days. Let me check here. I'll put my manager code and see if we can get an earlier enrollment period for you. And now, if they ask me that question, I know they're even more serious about buying now. And if I can, I'm going to get the opportunity to have the policy issue right away. I really want to do that.
Sure.
But the reality is we work with a lot of people on Social Security, disability, everything along the lines of that.
I can't do it till the 3rd.
Yep.
3rd it is. Okay.
it's fine, fine.
And of course, if that happens, I'm still going to try to push for a way of getting them to issue pay this month. Really, you shouldn't run into any issues like that unless it's like the last week of the month. And you're working with a lot of people that are, of course, on fixed income, disability, Social Security income. But I don't run into any issues like that up until like the very last week, 4th week of the month.
Anything you do that ties it down at the end?
Yeah. So, and just to go back a little bit, when it comes to obviously the close is always like the EAP's the most important part. So I think even when I pitch the options, like they don't really, like I don't tell them, which one of these do you want to, buy, or which one of these do you want, or which one. I simply ask them which one they want to try and qualify for. So I think that's an extremely good tip, is whenever I'm pitching the options, I'm letting them know even before, hey, I'm about to pull up these options that we're going to try and get you approved for, and then we'll submit an application for one of them. So that's me telling them, hey, we still have more to go after this, because we need to make sure that the company will actually approve you. So once you get through the EAP and you get the information that you need in order to close the deal, I simply tell them, hey, congratulations, it looks like you have been approved for the coverage. I review the coverage amount. And then I tell them, I'm like, look, this is going to be starting in 3 to 5 business days to ensure that, you are protected immediately, because right now you don't have any insurance, and that doesn't really make me feel comfortable as what I do. So this is going to start in 3 to 5 business days for you, and then every month it's going to be on this date. Is that going to work for you? Is the money going to be in the account? Okay, perfect. So, and then what I also do is I give them my information, I give them the policy number, and just to tie things down and really concrete it is just telling them again, hey, look, I'm on your side. You're stuck with me. I'm stuck with you. I need you right now to save my number. So if you have any questions or need anything at all, you can give me a call. Like for an example, yesterday I had a guy during a presentation. He said he's going to keep looking around and stuff. And by the end of the call, he said, you know what? I'm not answering no more phone calls. You did a good job. So I think a lot of the clothes, like if it's not really about the price, it's all about the value that you provide too.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
I think that's one thing about me is I truly do like want to serve people. You know what I'm saying? I've served people all my life. So I really do enjoy it. And I think if you really just try to do what's in their best interest, you don't really have to hard close people.
Exactly. Right. And I think a lot of times they don't even just buy the life insurance or the product in and of itself. They buy into you as the agent.
Yeah.
And when I'm wrapping things up on the phone, I'll tell them, hey, Joe, you and me have now entered into a pact. And the pact is this. As long as you maintain this in place, whenever something happens, I'm the one that's helping Mary throughout the whole process when you're gone. So I need you to make sure here, take down my phone number, and I need you to give that to your wife as well. Mm-hmm. Because if God forbid you pass away within the next 3 weeks or you know, maybe a month, 2, whatever the case may be, knocking on wood here, you're not going to be able to call me, but your wife can. And the moment your wife calls me, I'm already in contact with a life insurance company. We're getting a file claimed.
I can get to the life insurance company a lot faster than your wife would. I want to make sure this gets processed as fast as possible. So definitely make sure you give her my information, and if you guys need anything, reach out.
You guys have learned a skill set that now allows you to protect people and put their families in better positions than you found them, and that's a noble, honorable thing to have achieved and attained and to focus on each and every day. You guys are killing it. So, final thoughts. Send off. This is your entire agency out there. They're looking for one final bit of wisdom and motivation to go crush the rest of their dial day. What do you have for them?
The one thing I would say, guys, it's gonna be your top 20% of skills is what's gonna bring 80% of your results. And a lot of times, iron just sharpens iron. Get around people that are actually doing it. They don't even have to be the best, but they're constantly working to getting better, because you're only gonna get sharper around them. And when I tell you, and I guarantee you that it's the little details, it's the way that you're saying the little things that make the biggest difference in a sales presentation, in recruiting, or even in any area of your life. All you have to do is make sure you're around people that are actually doing it, working to get better and striving to get better every day. And then you're going to be in a position in which you're going to win and you're going to grow. And overnight, you're going to see the compound effect rise, and it's going to feel like overnight success. But in reality, it could have been months, even years in the making. And I think you can vouch for that.
Amen.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is just being a problem solver. I think, running a business by yourself and, I think we deal with a lot. So being a problem solver and being able to, take on whatever's in front of you and overcome it is a pretty big deal. And I think for the biggest part, just elaborate on a little bit what he said, I think environment's a really big thing, because for me, that's what it took. That's all it took is just for me to be in the right environment, at which it put myself in a position where I could feed off other people. I'm a very energy person, so I knew that if I put myself in a position where I was around people like Josh Williams, Orlando Martinez, Mel Montoya, and Erica Walker, I knew there was nothing less that was going to happen. So if you're not around people that are producing and protecting a lot of families a month, 20 to 30 families a month,
20 to 30
families a month, then you should definitely get yourself in a position where you're in the right environment. And if you can't be around the people that you're on the team with, well, we have Zoom. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing we utilize the most is Zoom. So I think putting yourself in a good environment and also being a problem solver and finding a way to make it happen.
1,000%.
Finding a way to make it happen.
One last thing that just
kind
of came back to me from Jordan Lowry. He said, "There's only two types of different people in your life. They're either elevating you or they're holding you back. If you're holding me back, you can't be in my life. If you're surrounding yourself with a circle of people that are not growing, that are always doing the wrong things consistently every week." We were just talking about this in your office, Grady. Cut out that circle, because the years are gonna go on, time is gonna go on, You're going to get older. We're all going to get older. And the reality is you're only going to be a byproduct of your environment and the people that you're around. If you're around people that are throwing negativity your way or making you disbelief in the system that you are trying to attempt and succeed in, and they're making you have disbelief in the leads and the resources, and most especially your skills, you got to run away from that and get with a group of people that are actually doing it, whether they're doing it the best way possible or whether, even if they're the worst, as long as they're working really hard, that's all that matters. Get with those people. Thank you,
man. Drop an FFL in the comments below to show love to Dennis and Orlando for all they poured out today. That was an absolute clinic, guys. Appreciate you tremendously.
Appreciate you for having us.
Amen.
Appreciate it.
Thank
FFL. So domino effect, and you said FFL compound effect could be a legit TU name. So if you like that, we can get it earmarked. But FFL compound effect could be pretty legit.
Head up to the designer for the logo.
we'll make it happen. So, hey guys, appreciate you all. Appreciate you both. Let's make it a great week. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.